when James Hinchcliffe starts the engine of his Indy car this weekend in Toronto, he'll once again have the pressure of being the hometown hero following him around lap after lap. Hinchcliffe will be the lone Canadian in contention this weekend, and as Nicky Reyes found out at the CSN Collision Center's booth, the chance to pick up his first podium appearance of the season at home makes this year's Indy and the checkered flag that much more meaningful to chase.
James, as you look for your first win this season, obviously there's no better place to get it done than right here in Toronto. But how fine is the line between enjoying the race in your hometown and maybe juggling some pressures of having to win here?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough coming to Toronto every year just because there's so much more attention, so much more, I don't want to say pressure, because as a driver, every time you're in the car, you put so much pressure on yourself to win. Doesn't matter what city you're in. But certainly when you're in Toronto, it heightens all those emotions. You know, if you have a bad day at the track, it feels worse. If you have a good day, it feels a lot better. So like you say, we're looking for that first win. There's no better place to do it here. We've gotten better at balancing how much, how many commitments to take on over the weekend and still be able to focus on the job we're doing, Friday through Sunday. And I'm feeling good. I think we're in a good spot. The car's been running well, so fingers crossed this can be our year.
Your last win was at Iowa Speedway last year. How would you assess how your season has been so far?
Our season's been interesting because we've actually had really good pace, especially on Sundays. We maybe haven't qualified as well as we would have liked, but race days the team's been executing really well. The car's been good. We've been driving good, but we just had bad racing luck, and I hate using that as an excuse because you make your own luck to a certain extent. But we've had some. We were fighting for the win in Detroit, got taken out. Fighting for podiums in Texas, had an accident. The car's been there, the pace has been there. We just kind of need. I don't even want good luck. I just want no bad luck, and I feel like we can be fighting for the win this weekend.
Got to give you some confidence then.
For sure. The last street course we did was Detroit, and we were running right up front there. So, we've had 2 podiums in the last 3 years here. The car's been consistently good here. We just need a clean weekend, stress-free, mistake-free weekend, and I think we can be up there.
Now, I'm no stranger to driving up and down Lakeshore like so many people, so many Torontonians. When those stanchions go up, though, I get that feeling that, oh, man, I could do this. This is amazing. But tell us, what is the course like? How does it drive? And maybe what are some of the challenges and what makes it unique here in Toronto?
I think what makes it unique is just all the different surfaces. We have, you're running through the X here. You're running down Lakeshore. You've had parts that were repaved last year. You had parts that were repaved in 07. You have parts that I'm pretty sure haven't been touched since 86 when the race started. So you've got different types of surfaces, different ages of surfaces. Toronto winners, they're hard on roads. So this track changes a lot year to year with the bumps and the surface changes, and so that's a huge challenge for not only the engineers to set the car up, but obviously the drivers behind the wheel.
Yeah, does that make it taxing on your body having to deal with all those bumps?
It does. It feels like being put in a tumble dryer for 2 hours. You really do get beaten up. These cars have very little suspension travel, so you feel every single bump you go over. If you ever watch the onboard video, you see the steering wheel just trying to wrestle out of the driver's hands. That's incredibly physical. This is a place, it's always usually pretty hot here in July. It's pretty humid, so you get dehydrated, you're getting beat up in the car. This is a tough one.
Okay, so one of the highlights on Sunday will be seeing Robert Wickens back on the racetrack, doing his lap around in the parade. You've gone through your fair share of accidents and injuries, obviously not to that extent, but when you're on the outside looking in, does it give you a different perspective maybe on life and racing?
Both of those things, yeah. I mean, in very different ways. I think certainly when I sat out for 2015, I learned a lot about the sport. I stood on the timing stand, as Robbie's been doing a lot this year for us. Learned a lot about how the race is operated from the other side of pit wall. But then, like you say, from a life perspective, it makes you appreciate certain things and certain people a lot more. And you learn not to sweat the small stuff because there's way bigger problems out there to deal with. And the way Robbie's been handling this whole thing has just been incredible. And I'm so excited for him to get back behind the wheel of a car here on track. He got his new helmet made up, and he's ready to go, and I can't wait to see it.
We're all looking forward to that. Well, it's been almost a month since Toronto has celebrated a win thanks to the Raptors. We're looking forward to celebrating with you on Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on.
And you can catch the Honda Indy Toronto race beginning Sunday, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific on Sportsnet 1.
Still on the